right.
It'll be
You
a
start the
10.
stream. I'm looking at 9,
And a 8.
7,
And a 6.
a 5,
4.
And a 3.
a 2,
And a 1.
yeah. Let's go. It's gonna be a good one.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
So you gonna hold the gunshots on this one, huh?
And a special welcome
You
back.
gonna hold the gunshots on this one? I kind of know. So I was like,
No, man, I put it out there, man, because this is still for some people that don't like information, man. Information is coming at you, man. It's coming at you fast, man.
Gonna keep it all the way professional, right?
We're going to still keep it a show over here, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, in the building today, man. Go ahead
and read out those accolades, man. Wait, before we start the show, man, come on now. We gotta.
Man. R.I.P. man to the Kiki, man. You know we
to
can.
Marky D.
You know, and R.I.P. to Tomcat. We can't forget our loved ones we lost. You know.
There you go.
So yeah.
So what do we have today, sir?
Man, we got Deanna in the building. Excuse me, Big O. I gotta go over here because it was a long list. I said I was gonna read that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Deanna. He had a long list, man. He says, "See, I can use this right here. You see it?" Yes, we got Deanna in the building, y'all. Appreciate y'all Facebook coming on in. That's my brother right there. What's happening, man?
Yes, sir.
Hey, but we got Deanna in the building, and she is known to be on the board of directors of the Down Syndrome Association of Central Oklahoma. She ambassador of the United States 4th Congressional District for the National Down Syndrome Society. Former senior probation and parole officer for the state of Oklahoma. Langston University undergraduate in corrections. Masters of Education from University of Central Oklahoma. And I ain't gonna say that last one, but she said I'll go ahead and let y'all know the emphasis on the special. You know,
Hey, man, clap it up.
That's where she at with all, man. That's where she at, man. I hope y'all can hear us over here on YouTube. I mean, on Facebook, man. Y'all please let us know if y'all can't, man. We trying out some new equipment too, man.
There you go. About to say got the new today.
So let us know if y'all can't hear us over there.
Yeah. So, but with that being said, man, what was the title of the day's topic today?
Topic of the show today, man. We is running with the pipeline to prison.
There you go.
And you know, me for just my understanding, pipeline to prison has always been from the start to the finish. Where do we start at?
Right.
We always had to go to school, and you always had to learn. And if you didn't learn this stuff at home, where was you learning it from? It's from all the different minds that was put into one place. You get what I'm saying? That was built to be something, or what they examining what it is today. What we calling the pipeline to prison.
Right.
So yeah, that's just my opinion. So y'all can tell me where y'all at with that.
Man,
come on with it.
Come on now. Pretty much, in my opinion, man. You're pretty much conditioned. I mean, there's no other way to put it.
Conditioned to what we
conditioned to your environment. Conditioned to how you look at the world. It's all pinpointed back towards your education and your upbringing and what environment you're in. So, with that being said, what are the conditions of our school systems around here? And I mean, just a quick Google search, it's not looking good.
It's so right, man.
It's not looking good.
It's a whole lot that information that they offering just from typing in the title pipeline to prison.
Right. I mean, articles from 2017 to 2021. It just, I mean, hit after hit after hit. I mean, you can just go and look for yourself. I don't even need to speak on it.
Man.
But our systems are failing.
Yeah.
And how do we correct this error? And
it's failing us.
Right.
And I say us as black people, and that's what they call us, you know. But
right.
But it's the system is failing us, and that's where a lot of my search had went to. Even Googling it, it went to just saying that black people, and then it lists Hispanics next.
Yeah. And you'd be a damn lie to say that you don't see it.
Yeah, and it always had. I'm sorry.
Shots fired.
But the whites at the bottom, man. And I seen as far as I think it was one of the statistics. It was one of the white women was it was like 17 to 111.
Wow.
You know what type of numbers, man, and our numbers was more like a 1 to an 8 or something like that. You know, it was small numbers.
There you go.
Yeah, so come on with it, man.
That is just really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Say
You
black.
said something.
Yes, ma'am.
But before we dive into it, would you like to talk more about your background and
let the people know
the
who
people
you
know who
is.
you are.
You know, I know I just ran off your list, but let the people know in depth, man, if you could do a little better than me.
Okay, well, my name is Deanna. For those who grew up with me, you know me as Didi. I grew up in Northeast Oklahoma City. I am a Northeast Viking. Okay, not a class in SAS. I'm a Northeast Viking.
Represent.
And that's what it will always be. I graduated from Langston University. Let's give it up right.
Hey.
Hey, you got your
Historical black
college.
college, by the way. You know.
Hey,
All black college now.
There you go.
all black, all
Right.
historically black university here in
There
Oklahoma.
you go.
I started off after I graduated from college. I was senior probation and parole officer for the state of Oklahoma, which allowed me to see I worked as a correctional officer at Mabel Bassett Correctional Center, and then I went to probation and parole and became a senior probation and parole officer for the state, and that allowed me to see some things like, oh man, okay, what's going on here? And then after about a decade of that, some circumstances led me to get into teaching. So looking at that, it's like, okay, I kind of see what's going on here. Now, when we went to school back before you, but somebody out there may know, the east side was thick. We had people filling up Douglas. We had people filling up Northeast. We had people filling up Star Spencer. Our schools were busting at the seams. Vouchers, did a little something to that. We are not the same school system, and that's nationwide. I'm not talking Oklahoma City. I'm talking about nationwide. The schools are not the same. The voucher system has a lot to be desired, but in order to understand what's going on with education, to your point, I need to take you back a little bit. Okay, I don't know if any of you seen the 1619 project that came on the other night. Have you heard of the 1619 project? You needs to Google it, the 1619 project. And the significance of that year is 1619 was the year that they brought the first 20 Africans over to the United States. So, yeah, the 1619 project. So I'm not going to go through all of it, but you all need to go. I think it's on. I'm not going to give any plugs for anybody, but just if you Google the 1619 project, it was on a major network. I don't know the licenses or anything, so I'm not going to put it out there like that.
Gotcha.
So, in order to understand where we are now, we need to understand where we came from, how we got in this situation.
Okay.
Generational debt has been, just like generational wealth has been passed down, generational debt is passed down. We were owed 40 acres and a mule. We didn't get that. We got a whole lot of debt, though. We got a whole lot of land that was taken from us. We had a whole lot of promises that were not kept. We had a whole lot of things going on that did not allow us to progress the way that other communities progressed. After World War II, you had a system, and Daryl, I sent you some information. Redlining.
There you go. I was just about to say something about the red line.
Redlining.
There you go.
Redlining.
That played a part.
That played a huge part. For those who don't know what redlining is, it's what the real estate agencies, briefly, it's what the real estate agencies use and the government uses to categorize a neighborhood. If your neighborhood is red, your housing values are lower, Is red is bad. Red is like, whoa, we're not going there.
Yeah.
So yes,
This ain't the same as red state. It's just red neighborhoods, is what you're saying.
yeah, there's
Yeah,
a
it's a
red
red
line drawn around the neighborhoods, red line. And guess who's red line?
Black folks.
you
East
go.
side Oklahoma City is red
On the
line.
east, huh? Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
And if you pull up that 2016 map, that was the latest one that I could find. It can kind of show you. I'm sorry. Go
A
ahead.
question on your redlining.
Sir.
That when they redline the area, property taxes, are they different than a comparable?
You following me? You know the road I'm going on. Property taxes is what funds schools. So if your neighborhood is redlined and your property value is automatically depreciated, that controls or that takes away from the money going into your schools. So you have redlining is a big factor, and that has affected us for decades. And we are steady seeing the effects. With vouchers, the voucher system, it's good in theory, but it takes away from our community. If for example, you're a parent living in a red line community.
Right.
You want the best for your child. Everybody does.
Yeah.
If you have a chance to take your child out of a poor performing school to another school, you're going to take that opportunity most likely.
Right.
And nobody's mad at you. I ain't mad at anybody about that. But what it does, it takes our best, quote unquote, and our brightest out of that neighborhood or out of those schools,
Right.
and it leaves a hole.
Yeah.
If they start in the 6th grade, okay, you got 200 kids. Okay, 6th grade, you have vouchers. You take the top 10 out. Okay, 7th grade, you take the top 10 out. 8th grade, you take the top 10 out for vouchers. By the time they get to the 9th grade, my number 1 was actually number 40. If you
Dang.
keep taking the top 10, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you've taken our top. So there you go. And it's a system that does not work. It's negative. It works negatively for people of color, for African Americans. And by the way, the Hispanic community is red line too. It's a big red line drawn around
And
the
theirs is
south
getting
side.
bigger.
Yeah, and theirs is getting bigger. So by the way, it's not just us.
Yeah.
But when you do that, it takes away. And you notice they're not doing vouchers in Edmond, Norman.
There you go.
They're not doing vouchers there. They don't need to do vouchers. They have the property taxes and they have the things to fund their schools. We don't because we're redlined. It's a vicious circle.
It's almost sounding like some of those what we say them sundown towns that we mentioned on one of our other podcasts.
There you go.
Oh man.
Same
Same,
cities,
same city, same setup.
and they don't need the vouchers, huh?
Right.
Look how it's all coming together, y'all. Come
Yeah.
on now, stay with her. Go ahead. I don't mean to cut you out.
Oh, no, you're fine. You're fine, but redlining is a huge factor because you're taking revenue out. You're depreciating that value. You're taking revenue out of the community, and the schools that are left, they're underperforming simply because it's not because they don't have good teachers, because they do.
Yeah.
They don't have the resources.
Yeah.
If I take a child out of a school because of a voucher, I'm taking that money.
Right.
The money goes with the child.
Yeah.
Right.
So that lessens what I could do with the other kids. I've taken that money. That child has gone over to some other school with that money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's benefiting another school, not benefiting the community where it could have been supposed to benefit itself.
Exactly. So redlining really hurts us, but it goes back to, again, the 1619 project. I suggest anybody, if you didn't see it, you need to see it because it breaks it down perfectly.
Look that up.
With that being said, how are the current laws and policies affecting our African American children with disabilities too, as well? Especially seeing that that's your expertise. I gotta ask you that.
Well, our black males are disproportionately placed in special education. That's probably not anything I have to tell anybody.
Yeah.
You know, our black males, and follow me on this one, when they are in, and I'm talking nationwide,
So it's not just specifically.
it's not
Oklahoma.
specifically
Yeah.
here, just nationwide, and I've seen the research, and I've, sat with people and whatnot, so I have a level of expertise on it. So if you put a black male in special education, first, second grade, primarily because the teacher doesn't know what to do with it.
Right.
You know, you have a Caucasian lady, usually elementary school. This child is hyperactive, whatever. It's a problem. They must need special education. So we put them in special education. Okay. So first grade, he's in special education. Second grade, he's in special education. He's starting to learn that he does not have to do the work because they will pass him along in special education. By the time he gets in fourth grade, he's learned that he's going to pass and he don't have to do
You ain't gotta do
anything.
nothing.
Yeah.
He ain't got to do nothing.
So then
Yeah.
that's almost like the system being built, like we talking about,
Mm-hmm.
for you to be lazy
Yeah.
and you don't want to get up because everything was already done for you.
Right, and I served, and I was in the maintenance department. I was the plumber for the Middale district for 8 years, and then I was also the plumber for the Putnam City School District for 3 years as well. And I've noticed the trend. There's a lot of our little brothers and sisters that are out in the hallways and are being treated differently.
Absolutely.
And I really don't think that most parents know exactly what goes on in these school systems, and you should peel back the onion a little bit.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you had to really be there, be there as,
Yeah,
as one
exactly.
of those parents,
Right,
like
exactly.
Shout
So-
out
so-
to
yeah.
Talisha Satterwhite's mama,
Yeah, right.
She was there all the time.
all the
We
time.
all know her for that. You
Right,
know?
Yeah.
and was active and hands on. And I guess what I'm sure I say all of that to say this is be more hands on.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're going to the schools and seeing exactly what's going on. Do a
Most
pop up every now and then,
Yeah.
especially whenever you have an off day. You know, don't just sit at home all day. Maybe just pop into the school
Being
and see
involved.
exactly. Yeah, be a little bit more involved
Yeah.
and seeing what's going on in the background in some of these school boards. Because I'm pretty sure you'd be alarmed and shocked.
And go to the meetings too. boy.
Go
I
to
mean,
the school board meetings. Yeah. You would absolutely be alarmed because school boards all over the country, they got shenanigans going on, and you'd be absolutely shocked.
Yeah.
But as far as special education,
Are you allowed to speak on that? All right. The shenanigans? You know, I gotta ask first.
It's all right if you can't. They know it's raw and no cut over here.
they watching me right there. They got their arms raised. Okay.
And her watching. Fans taking pictures of
Yeah,
it.
speak if you want to. Yeah.
Like, hey, can you talk about them shenanigans? Like, I don't know if I can ask you that. I'm gonna ask you that.
So what type of shenanigans they doing to the people?
I know nothing of any shenanigans.
Like that. I hear you loud and clear.
You know what I'm
I hear you
saying?
loud and clear.
We heard you, but hey,
Right.
we back, y'all. Y'all know it gets real, and y'all know some of this stuff can be brought, and some of it can't. So y'all do your research for yourself. It's all we showing you. Google works.
School of Google absolutely
Google
works.
works,
It
man.
works.
And just watching the news, it's amazing to me how many people just don't keep up with the news. And we are
I'm one of those.
reactive people.
Right.
We're not proactive. We're after the fact, after something that has happened someplace. And then we're mad for 2 days.
Yeah.
And then we
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
then we
Yeah.
done with it.
Yeah.
We have to be more proactive.
Okay. And then with that being said, I was looking up, some questions on the critical race theory, and Oklahoma's public school teachers will be prohibited from teaching certain concepts of race and racism under a bill Republican Governor Kevin Stitt signed into law. How do you feel about that?
I don't know any teachers that are teaching critical race theory. I don't know. There are no teachers that I know that is teaching critical race theory.
They don't really want to dive into it either, though.
No,
just
I mean,
because of, I'm just saying because in my opinion, just because I'm saying how the books have changed and how everything has changed in what we was taught, back in the day from what's taught now.
Critical race theory is not in any curriculum in any school in the United States of America, and I'm not just saying that. It is not. Critical race theory is taught at the college level in the master's program for people going into law and things like that, is where critical race theory is taught. History is taught in schools.
Yeah.
That's what's taught.
Do you see the history being tampered with from going forth from here on? I mean, slavery never existed, things of that nature.
There's a way that some districts or some states want us to teach history. For example, in Texas, there was a proposal that, how did they put it, that we're not going to teach about slavery. It was we're going to call it involuntary relocation.
Well, see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, just not calling a spade a spade, and just flat out just saying it happened. You can't get around it.
Can't get around it. No, involuntary relocation. We're not going to call it slavery. We're going to call it involuntary relocation.
You can't get around it. And calling it anything other than what it was.
So with that, since we're keeping it a real show.
Oh, you already
there you
know.
go. Come on.
My thought on that
Go with it now.
is if a woman is raped, we're going to call that involuntary sexual contact.
Most definitely ain't gonna call that.
I mean,
Same thing. Huh?
what's the difference? It was involuntary sexual contact.
Wow. There you go.
So, but they have in Florida. Oh my goodness, Florida is just wilding out.
Yeah, Florida
I heard
is
they doing the most. Man, you can go down there.
Yeah, Florida is
I ain't
losing
gonna
his
say
mind right now.
And with all the people of color that they have in Florida, you would think that
They will be in Atlanta, huh? Or
They
at
may
least a
be
start of it or something. Huh?
right, they back up a little bit, but no, Florida is going. But critical race theory is not taught in schools. It is not, and I can't stress enough, it is not taught in any school, any
need to get on
public
that.
school in the United States of America by anyone. Critical race theory is the boogeyman. You know,
They
that
trying to
just
keep it away, boy.
Uh-huh.
He come out scary to you is what you saying. Huh?
trying to come out scary. It's a boogeyman. It goes with woke.
Okay.
Being woke. What does being woke mean?
Yeah,
It's,
And I see that everywhere now.
yeah.
Anti-woke.
That's what they saying, that we are the woke people is the ones with the problems now.
Of course. You're the one causing
Now
problems.
they started the anti-woke, like you're saying.
Yeah, you're the one causing problems.
Because
you don't
of
want
the
any of
woke.
the woke shenanigans.
But what are we doing? We just got to start our Google and all the information is coming out. So how much woke do you need to get?
You're not supposed to pay attention to that.
Come on now.
no, don't pay attention to all that.
You're not supposed to pay attention to that.
Hey,
You're
words, man.
supposed to
They
see
taught
that
us how to
side.
read, man. They taught us how to read, man. They kept us from reading for so long.
Yeah, you're supposed
Then they taught us how to read, man. They started putting us in school and said, all right, we're going to let them read.
They said, don't look at that.
Don't look at that at all. Y'all remember the Wizard of Oz? Don't look at the man
Don't look
behind the
at-
curtain. Look over here.
Focus.
Focus,
Get it together
man.
now.
Only what I give you, man. That's what you focus on.
That's what it is, and it's sad that it's racism. It's, I think, in my personal opinion, and from what I've seen, it is certain segments of America that see themselves as becoming the minority, and they're afraid. That scares them because they've never been the minority before. We go back to January 6th. We would never have stormed that Capitol, ever, ever.
Yeah.
If y'all got me, if Obama got me up to the Capitol,
Yeah.
and I'm with him, it's like, yeah, they
I'm
wrong.
about to ride with you.
I might ride with him to the door of the Capitol.
we ain't going
We ain't going in the Capitol.
Yeah, it's going to be some hesitance.
It's gonna be a whole lot of hesitancy.
Yeah.
And if anybody go in there, They're gonna be in there for about 2 seconds before they realize, oh man, I ain't even supposed to be here.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot less sliding being looked at they had to work out.
What I was about to say, I think black folks gonna be at the door like, I need to ask a couple questions first.
Like, look, we just came here to talk, and we mean business. We all here.
What am I gonna get if I go in this door?
We said peaceful,
Peaceful. Yeah.
peaceful.
Nah,
You already know
he
that.
said, when you gonna unlock this door, I can run. I'm just gonna walk right in. That's peaceful. That's peaceful to us, man. I ain't gonna give you no resistance or nothing, man.
I ain't riding with you in there. But these people were comfortable. They were comfortable going into the Capitol. They were comfortable going
Like
into
they've
that
been there
woman's
before.
office and putting their foot all up on her desk. They were comfortable staying for hours
Privilege
and
is real,
hours.
You know.
That's because they have no fear.
Yep.
They don't have the consequences never applied to them. That's why you can be so comfortable doing that.
Right.
We can never be that comfortable because we always know in the back of our mind as an African American, there are certain lines we can't cross.
We
can't
on
cross.
we on the defense.
Yeah, we own the defense.
Yeah,
We
all
would
the time.
never. And you might have got a few. You know, it's always crazy us. There might have been a few that went in there, but by and large, everybody else would have went home.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you can ride this one out on
Yeah,
your. I'm gone.
especially if somebody would have got shot. After somebody got shot, it'd been straight to the cars.
We out.
You know how it is in clubs. Like they start shooting in the club or something, boy, they straight to the car. Yeah. Party over. Yeah, there you go.
But they kept going. Not only did the woman get shot, after she got shot, they said, "Oh, we still
Keep on
going.
going.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep on going." But that's a level of confidence that we don't understand as African Americans because we have never been allowed to be that comfortable
Right.
in this society. With our education, we've never been allowed to be that comfortable.
What does that outcome look like? I mean, not even the outcome, but what does like a projection of that look like if we did, come together? In your opinion,
That's a good question.
Man, we could do so much if we just came together. And we have been separated for so long. I don't know what that looks like. I'm gonna go back to the projects. Notoriously Cabrini Green in Chicago. You remember that housing project that was one of the worst in the country? It wasn't set up by design, but it went a certain way. Because, the projects were originally set up for the Jewish people.
because they
Yeah.
like to live with each other anyway.
Before the war, that the projects were set up for the Jewish people. Then African Americans started going into them. So in the Chicago projects, and you all know that Chicago has one of the worst housing projects in the nation.
Oh yeah.
They are notorious.
Oh yeah.
So when we started moving into those projects, they stopped repairing them. They stopped fixing lights. They took away the gardens and things like that. That was a concrete jungle. Human beings cannot live without natural light, without vegetation. All that stuff is important to the development of the brain.
Especially melanated people.
Yeah,
You know?
especially but that's where they
Need to be
put these
outside.
people. And after decades of living like that, you put them back. You tear the projects down now. They're not in the projects anymore. But you have decades of that mentality
That
that
trauma
was
of living.
formed,
Yeah.
and people kind of look at me crazy sometimes, but I think it had to do with the way that housing project, what it became. You cannot put a human being in a concrete area with no vegetation. You can't have them going into dark hallways with no light. Water dripping. Water dripping is torture.
Yeah.
That's a torture
It's
technique.
like mold,
Yeah.
you talking about mentally, you're hearing it, but I'm talking about you get it long enough, then you talking about your respiratory.
I mean, and then we're not even talking about the quality of the water, the quality control of the water. I mean,
Yeah, the
lead in
neighborhood
there and
gonna get a
everything.
different
I mean,
type of water up
Look at
in it.
Flint. I mean, we still. Does Flint have clean water?
I think they still working
No,
on it.
they,
I mean, it's
Still working on
I
it.
rest my case. It's just, they psychologically, mentally, spiritually, all of it. It's on the attack, and we all know. It is what it is. Yeah.
We just trying to get ready,
Right.
but
Project.
it's almost too late.
Yep, project, experiment, same thing.
With that being said, what do you see our education system for our young brothers and sisters 10 years from now?
See, I like him. He's keeping me on topic.
I mean, while we got you here, we need to hit you with everything. Hit you with everything.
With COVID, the COVID class of 2032, these are the students, they were kindergartners when COVID started in 2020. They did, half of that year they were out in March. They didn't have a normal year that the 2 following years after that. We've gotten back to some semblance of normalcy. They missed a whole lot of basics
Right.
by not having contact. We did it online, but online really wasn't working very well, especially for students in urban areas that didn't have access to internet, things like that.
Oh, yeah.
So our kids missed first grade basics, second grade basics. They took their third grade reading test, which is the first test that they take. They took it this year. The results are not out, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell that nationwide those scores are going to be bad because they
gonna
didn't
be
get
low.
the basics.
Yeah.
And again, they're going to continue to move them forward. That is the class of 2032. That is the first COVID class,
That sound
2032.
It almost sounds like some AI learning to me.
That's scary.
I mean,
AI
if you
is
can
scary.
grasp on that.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on that? AI
scary.
and everything.
It's
Come
scary.
on, man. What do you think?
I don't like it.
That's almost what they tried to. To me, that's what it sounds like because they got you to be at home, like you say, and we in that vegetable state, no sunlight, in our environment that we walking around in. So you're at home and you learning off the computer.
You're a damn robot.
That's what I'm saying. So you
You're a
been learning.
damn robot.
Did y'all look at the deal I posted to y'all about the AI?
What'd you say about the AI?
They ran a simulator and had an AI in the simulation. The AI was going to be a plane, and they gave it certain rules, and it automatically determined. The rules was you couldn't kill your controller. And it automatically determined that the greatest imperative to its mission of killing terrorists was the controller.
Was
So
to
it
kill
started-
them still.
It started bombing the controller.
Mm.
And this is just a simulation. They just running the program.
You sound like one of the movies I seen.
Yeah, just like
I mean, exactly like that. Yeah, that's some Skynet shit. Skynet, bro.
Program and put into the program, don't kill. You can't bomb the controller.
Yeah.
So what it automatically started doing was bombing the tower that sent out the radio wave.
Wow.
They want
That's just on its own. That's just a program that they were running just to see what would happen. It
Yeah.
automatically, instantly decided the controller is the biggest imperative to my mission.
They said
My
that.
mission is to kill terrorists, but he's in the way. So I'm gonna get rid of him.
Yeah, you was in the way all the
Wow.
way.
I posted it to y'all's little group on Messenger.
All of the red flags that's going on with artificial intelligence, and we
Yeah,
keep
it's
on,
Keep on doing
keep
it.
on.
We
Keep
in
on
those
dipping your hand in the
zones.
cookie
Like I
jar.
told you when you were a little kid, it doesn't matter. You have to research it because somebody somewhere's got enough money to do it on their own. They'll give them a what do you call those cargo ships? Put it out in the middle of the ocean. Ain't no laws out there, and they'll run their own little lab, and they'll come up with their own AI.
Wow.
That's what they doing.
Well,
with the-
apparently somebody didn't watch Terminator 1, 2, or 3 before they started.
Right.
AI.
Man, yeah, it's a true story. They just tripped it out.
So you being in the position that you're in, where computer technology has been around since before it was a thing. How do you feel about artificial intelligence taking over?
Oh, you can't stop it. It's gonna happen. That's why I say somebody somewhere is gonna do their own research on it. They're gonna get their own AI, and then it's gonna be a race from everybody else to catch up.
Somebody to be first.
Right.
Yeah.
AI is just you can ask it a question, it'll do formulations for you and all the outcomes. It'll
They
take
got-
with
they
all
got
the
apps for
information
that
that
now,
it can
too.
get instantly.
That's great.
And formulate the outcome. Which stock should I buy? Which which
crazy.
businesses should I close? Which businesses should I open? Yeah, so that's what they want. They
Got
want
artificial intelligence,
Right.
robots
That's
writing
thinking for you.
resumes and everything
Right,
else. It's
right,
crazy.
Right, so.
When you asking it
It's
to
gonna
think for
happen.
you, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild.
They
We was
said
already
Elon
thinking
got
for
his
ourselves.
patent for his thing to insert in your head. You know, he said that was the only way we were gonna be able to keep up.
Oh, the Neuralink.
That was he
that's
got all that
crazy.
information off of as soon as he took over Twitter,
I ain't
man.
gonna- I ain't gonna lie to you,
He
that's
went
gonna be-
ahead and put him right over the top.
Yeah, that's gonna be shoot.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask y'all this. Let me ask the audience this too. Hey, audience.
Hey,
Let me
y'all.
ask you this. Now, we're talking about AI. AI scares the hell out of me. But why are we not worried about GPS? I've been worried about that for a while. Something that can tell your location to the inch. When you get to the corner, turn left.
I think
Here.
the show is opening up, y'all.
There you go.
I mean, that doesn't scare anybody.
Yeah.
That something knows exactly where you are on this planet at all times.
Yeah.
You can
Even
go dark.
even when you got
can
the
get off the grid. You can get off the grid.
You can, but we don't.
yeah. Because we so used to living this lifestyle that we in.
What's the easy way to go off the grid, Pop? For all the ones that don't realize how
Get your
easy it
old
is.
Car, get rid of your cell phones, and there you go.
You want me to go to the woods?
How you gonna sustain though? You still got to get your tent.
Well,
Still need you some-
No Call of Duty,
you can
huh?
become an entrepreneur. You can have your own source of income. I know a guy that used to, when I was in between jobs, I went and worked for a temp company,
Yeah.
and this guy came in, and we were refurbishing medical equipment. He's completely off the grid.
So how?
He
I
only
mean, bro,
comes in to do to run these classes, to refurb the machines, and then when he go home, he's got his own electricity, he's got his own solar panels. They out in the woods. You come on his property, you dying.
Yep.
His wife got their AR-15s. They got their own gardens. He says he drives an old car, and this was 10, 15 years ago. He was off the grid then. He said he don't even have internet at his house.
yeah. So that's what I was getting at.
That's one of the ones you had to
That's
be ready to live
that's the
right
problem
there.
with most of us today. We can't give it up.
Hell,
Right.
You
He
seen
said
what
he
happened when
can't
it
give it up.
sparked us?
He could check his solar panels, but he had his own link set up where he could dial into it, but it wasn't on the internet. He just could dial directly into it, check your battery.
Man, look at
He
that.
said at night, he had lights and stuff. Daytime solar panels refurbished the
Look
battery.
at that.
And he said he used those car batteries for his storage.
Yeah, that works.
Look at that. That's what black people need to be on right now.
So what did he do during COVID? Because I
don't
think
know.
COVID
That's
put
like
a
I
lot
said.
of people on the internet that weren't.
Well, he
Yeah.
probably, I don't know.
He had to make some
said he was
videos.
off the grid. And they said, and everybody in the room was like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's smart,
He
probably.
he said, I got my AR-15s, don't come on my
I
property.
done seen people take a alternator, and hook it
Yeah.
up and run
Right,
they
right.
electricity
He got
off of
solar
that,
panels,
all
he said he had
that.
a windmill, all that stuff.
Well, them groups in Wyoming and stuff do that. They prepping.
Yeah.
Those doomsday preppers.
Oh, yeah,
Those
that's
crazy
I
people.
mean, that's what I'm saying.
They
Like,
already ready.
that's how you something ready.
But I have a
We behind still.
Going back to Oklahoma, school system, any thoughts? Because I hear nobody discussing this, but I'm watching all of it on Twitter. It's all these. I'm on one of these, like a Twitter group that keeps up with Oklahoma education.
Okay.
With Brian Walters, with all the stuff he's doing, with the voucher system. You said the voucher. See, I never knew we were already on the voucher system, but they're coming out with this new one where they've reallocated this big sum of money for these private schools. How do you feel about that? I haven't heard anybody discussing it, as what this coming school years is gonna be like with all that big chunk of money cut out, with Ryan Walters not filing for those federal grants. That chunk of money's not coming in that I know of. And also, like just recently, I read an article, they were posting it down in Florida, they've already instituted the voucher deal where they're taking that money out and giving it to private schools. The private schools immediately bumped up their tuition. So they sat there, let them say, hey, we're gonna give everybody $7,000 vouchers. You can take your kid out of these terrible schools and get him over to one of these great, like St. Mary's, blah blah blah,
Right.
and their vouchers $7,000. You can get your kid in school over there, get them out of these horrible schools, and then as soon as they pass, and all these people they allocated that money. Now those same schools is going, well, our tuition is $12 grand now.
They up
It's 10 for our members. But for you people that ain't members of the church and in the system, it's 12.
Well,
So
hey,
now, that money's taken out of those public schools, and now you can't get your kid in the great school. So now he's got to go back, I'm guessing, to the public school that ain't got no resources.
to the red line.
Is that what's going to happen in Oklahoma?
Yeah, Oklahoma, I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research on this part of it. The difference, I believe, is that Oklahoma is not done private schools, and that might be the difference. Vouchers are usually public school to public school, because private school, nationwide, for example, if your child is on an IEP, if they're in special education, private schools don't have to follow the same rules when it goes for your IEP. And there was a glitch with that, so vouchers weren't
Interesting.
going to private school. I'm not exactly sure how that works. But for example, if you go from a public to a public charter, the money follows you. The money follows that student from a public to a public
I
charter.
haven't heard any black people discussing what's going on. Like I say, this Twitter group that I'm following, you follow one person and then you get the people and they just see all these posters coming in. It don't sound good.
Anytime money is taken out of anything, you're taking, this store. If I'm an owner or if I'm part of this and I'm contributing money and I leave with my money, that affects this.
yeah,
That's just the simple fact of it. It's the same with schools.
yep.
And it's the same with the redlining. If this neighborhood, the tax base is not there, the school quality is not going to be there.
It's also a form of group economics. Yeah,
Yeah.
keep your black dollars in the circle.
Absolutely. When you distribute those dollars within your community, you help those schools.
There you go.
So the dollars will be one of the resources then. What will be some of the other resources that you think will be helping the public schools then?
Parents. Like he
Absolutely.
said, parents, coming up to the school, don't come up to the school to cuss the teacher out.
Yeah.
you know your baby bad. You know this.
Yeah.
Now they don't know that.
And then you gonna get
Not
mad at the
they
They don't
teacher.
know that.
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of that happens. They come up there, they cussing you out
Yeah.
at different schools, this, that, and the other, but you know your baby bad. Your
Right.
baby don't want to do any work, and you mad at the teacher.
Yeah.
Why isn't he doing any work? Well, why didn't you call me? Well,
Yeah.
I tell you what, COVID was a rude awakening for some people, for some parents.
Oh, yeah, they had to learn their children.
They had to learn their children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like your child is not working, and you the one home with them.
Right.
Yeah.
And overall, I feel like us as a people, that's where we need to start. We need to start locally everywhere.
Yeah, you should be
Politically, education, our hospitals, everything needs to start locally. We need to know our doctors. We need to know our nurses. We need to know our child specialists. We need to know all of that. We need to be hands-on. It starts locally. Raise your own candidates. Get to know the principal. Get to know who you putting in, in the board of directors or over the school board. I mean, come on, man. You have to be hands-on. You have to get involved somewhere. If not, it's insanity. You just repeating the same thing over and over again.
The
And
cycle is
that's
still
it.
going.
Get involved with voting. You might not. You got to get involved with all of it. It starts at the local level.
Right.
The city council person is more important to you than the president.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You have to be hands-on. You have to know who you giving this position of power to, and how does it benefit you and your community.
And people don't come out for the local elections. Local elections, the turnout is dismal, you know.
Well, in my opinion, I think why they doing, I can say that I'm probably one of them too, you know. I done did it a few times, but I just say that I'm just not as educated on the people that I'm still trying to put in there because of, I mean.
True.
But it would do you a service. It would do you a service to do some kind of brushing up before getting to the poll, and then doing multiple selection real quick.
But
on who think it is,
you know,
what
as
I
us
mean?
being Scorpio, so I'm thinking deeper than that.
Right.
So I'm thinking like I don't know this person even on my brush up.
Yeah.
I can go look up whatever's out there, and I still got to make a decision off something that was put out there that I don't like.
And
I
that's
ain't
the
gonna know.
problem with us not raising our own candidates. If you had somebody that you've been knowing from the jump, a Stephen Cooper, you know,
Tried it.
yeah, tried it, you know.
We didn't get, Eric Stobie in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We
man,
didn't
exactly.
get him in. I
Yeah, you-
was kind of really shocked at that.
See, I'm not hip again.
Derek's the pastor of Ebenezer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That he ran for, court clerk?
Court
Or
clerk.
something, yeah.
Like
Mhm.
that.
Oh, okay.
And we didn't get him in.
Yeah. But we
And
have
you
to-
can't say it was advertisement of him not getting the word out.
Right.
Because I was seeing people holding signs, billboards.
He didn't go vote.
I ain't been nowhere, and I ain't, you know, like I said, I ain't really been on the news and nothing shit.
he was out there, and that's. Look, I'm gonna make somebody mad.
Go ahead.
I'm
man, hold
gonna
on.
make somebody mad.
Do your
So y'all just go ahead and
Shots fired. Huh?
okay. Y'all, just because they have a Democrat behind their name, does that mean that they are for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, you need to research the can. Now, Republicans, they got something, you know, but still, just because they have a Democrat after their name or before their name, you still need to research them
There you go.
and see if they are for you.
That's big time.
And you all don't do that. If a Democrat gets in office in any county, this is America, any black community, if a Democrat gets in office, they could live there for the rest of their life. And never do anything. And I'm not, and this is not a knock to anybody. I'm not saying that people aren't doing their job. I'm saying people don't research.
There you go.
And they get reelected on low numbers because people don't go out and vote. They still may get reelected. I don't know anybody that's doing a horrible job, so let me put that out there. It's not knocking anybody, but we simply don't do our research. We see Democrat, and it's like, oh, and go in there, and there you go. You know, somebody that's a card carrying KKK, if they want to run the East Side, all they need to do is go over to the East Side, change their party affiliation to Democrat, and shake a few hands, and they're in office.
Yeah.
And then you got a KKK member running your community, somebody that means you no good.
They almost they almost sound like experts at uniforms.
Come on now.
Yeah. You got to know who you're voting on. What? No, you got to sound.
You know what positions they hold.
Yeah. Hey, I'm
I
just
saw
speaking.
James Holt on Simone's show yesterday.
Okay.
So, and I like James Holt. Everything that I've read about him and all the stuff that he does, he's a Republican. But man, if I was in Oklahoma City, I'd vote for him. You know, all the stuff that he's done, the stuff that he said, he's kind of bucked the traditional. To me, black people need to vote in their best interest, and I think a lot of the times, if we can find more moderate Republicans that will cut us some slack on some stuff, man, that's who we can throw our votes behind him and probably get them up with a hump. Because a lot of people are for the rabid Republicans, and they got their little group, but if we could get some of those moderate Republicans over the hump, man, we might get some stuff, you know.
Man, there y'all go.
Okay, let me put this out there, Pop. We know the Republican field that we have running thus far, led by Rump
Right?
and DeSantis and whoever
Right,
else.
right.
They got about 15 people running.
Right?
So if they do this in their primary, they are not going to get 50. Whoever gets nominated won't get 50% because they got too many.
Right,
Okay. Right now, let's say if it was today, it would be Trump.
right.
Unfortunately, it would be Trump. We don't have enough interest in voting to go out and vote for Biden. Trump could be president again just because
That's right.
of our non-vote.
Oh.
Our non-vote counts just like our vote
Yes, it
counts.
does.
Facts.
So we got to be careful at that. We listen up there looking at Trump and saying, "Oh, he ain't gonna win." Yeah, he can. He can.
Facts.
If he
See-
gets
see.
past the primary, and he can get past the primary with 25%.
Yep.
Because of how crowded the field is.
Right.
And he runs up against Biden, and we're just that uninterested that we don't go out and vote for Biden.
So that's
He
why
could be
they,
president.
That's why they pushing for the go vote, really, without saying it, because they can't speak on it too.
Who's that?
I'm talking about P. Diddy.
Okay.
Man, you been Crusaders now.
Hey,
Be
man,
back
come on,
in,
Come on, man. He been a topic on the
I
podcast
just
without being a
hadn't heard
topic.
any black folks on Facebook or anywhere else discussing the upcoming school year. And I'm still concerned. I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be eventually, not maybe next year, but next couple of years, them schools, some of those schools that we depend on, they ain't gonna get their funding. They ain't not gonna get the good teachers, they're gonna start losing teachers. You know, not gonna get the school supplies they need.
Wow.
Yeah. And then you get the dropouts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's
And
what
then, like she said, you losing your top students to the better schools.
Yep.
So now your school is got taking tests with the bottom half of the, and I don't want to talk about nobody's baby. But and then they're gonna test, and then they're gonna see. Look at them.
Look at them.
Look at them.
But who's test?
Watch it. Watch it.
Well, don't
Pay
even
attention.
don't even put it like
Whose test
this.
was it?
Let's put it in terms of sports. If the NBA
Yes.
Nuggets or whatever,
It's
if somebody comes and they recruits their top 3,
three, right?
and then they come again and they recruit the next top
Right.
3 after that,
Right?
they not gonna win or
No.
because you've gotten their
Yeah,
top. And that's not saying anything about the ones that's left, but you've
Right.
gotten the top.
Top.
There you go.
And it's hard to perform when you get the top.
Yep.
And that's what's happening in schools in essence. They come and they recruit the top.
Yep.
And, parents are frustrated. I've been that frustrated parent.
Yeah.
You get frustrated and you get tired of fighting with the schools. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, we'll move or we'll go over here or whatever. I don't have to worry with it.
Yep.
And y'all worry about that.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. And unfortunately, there's some people that can't move.
Right.
There are good people in these red line neighborhoods
Right.
that can't go anyplace
anywhere.
else, and they need a hand.
Yes.
And we need to be there as a community, like you
Yes.
were saying. We got to be there to give them a hand. We
Yeah, you
got
gotta
to
be hands-on.
Yeah, we got to be involved in the people who make the policies for those red line communities.
Right.
Right.
And we don't
Right.
do that.
I can speak honestly. I work for Norman.
Mhm.
And man, when I leave at 5:30, you see them folks piling in, going to the city council meetings.
That's
And
nice.
Some of those meetings, man, they'll go to
Who is them
1 o'clock
folks?
at night.
That's nice.
Who was them folks?
Huh?
I said, who was them folks?
What folks?
Who was them folks?
He's talking about. You know who it is. You know who it is.
I'm looking at the doors like, are they coming?
I thought he had seen something I didn't see. I was like, damn, I'm like, what happened?
Oh, man, I'm trying to see who them folks is, man.
I told you about saying Diddy so much.
Send them folks outside.
And it's very impressive to see that.
Yeah.
They pile in.
And we don't do that.
Right.
We don't go to.
Right. And I'm guilty. I haven't been to a city council meeting in Midwest City. I need to start going. I'm gonna make it a habit to find out when they meet.
It's
and
the-
if nothing else, just go and sit. So they
It's,
see my
it's
face.
what we've made important.
And that's one of the things that we did say we want to start bringing over here too. I mean, just if nobody's gonna go, at least we'll be the start. Then they can say that they hear it somewhere, you know, and then it'll make them start going because they're hearing the type of things that's coming out of these meetings.
Yeah. Well, we need somebody to step up to the plate and then feed it to us so we can announce it whenever they talk about it.
Okay, so Daryl, what do we do?
Hey,
Come
I
on.
think we need to organize like all this has been talked about, you know,
Because I don't want to make no false promises to our listeners.
Well,
I think the listeners need to get involved
I'm just saying like
and help us out too.
it ain't just the one. And I just because I say I'm saying I'm speaking for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean I'm guilty of it too, and I just said like we can if it was something we can organize. Just like I said, we organizing groups to talk about stuff. We can organize something to go listen to something.
Organize.
So
to
what,
get out
just
the vote.
certain cities though too, because you know
No, we
no
right
city
here.
need love, and you know
Well, I mean we right here, right?
East Side need love. And,
I mean they would have to start their own groups then, huh?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. We gonna have to. It's gonna have to be everywhere. We can't
But
lose.
that's how it was.
No
when we
soldier
had
left
that-
behind.
Which we ain't leaving them behind. If we go ahead and motivate them, go ahead and see.
To motivate them.
They're going over here.
One more thing out there. If
Y'all crazy.
Motivate.
One thing that drives me crazy when I go to vote is I don't know who the judges are. And I keep
Yeah.
looking for a Facebook group,
See what I'm
some kind of
saying?
group that
Where the knowledge
that
come from?
grades the
man?
judges. I haven't found one yet. If anybody knows of one, let me know. Because I'm there to vote, and then I got these judges. So your mom goes, just vote no on all of them.
Daryl, I have
But
to
no vote.
We gotta stop doing that. You gotta stop doing that shit, man.
Because they
That's
need
terrible.
to get new judges.
Like, yeah, I just ain't gonna
There might
vote.
be a good judge in there.
Well, Daryl, why don't you start the Facebook group? Do it from this
I-
show and start finding out about the candidates.
Come on now.
I have no problem with starting the group. I just tried to start one group and it didn't go nowhere. So I guess I could try to start this one too.
Come on.
You might
I'm
not
just-
get but one
I'm just-
person starting out, but you know, hey.
That's it. That's all we need is that one person going to the city council meetings. Faithfully.
Yeah,
Faithfully.
faithful, that faithful
and then
one.
feeding it to the show. And then we can report it to everybody else. And we can shout them out every time. Like
What
this
we gonna
dedicated
call
to
this?
you.
What we gonna call this?
Whatever
group?
their name is.
What we gonna call this group?
Whatever their name is.
Because you were talking about the judges, you know.
Yeah.
Get somebody to research the
Yeah,
judges.
whoever's dedicated to going, that's what we need to name it after.
Man. But like you said, man, we just gonna be here in the dub. I can't be going around everywhere.
Hey, well, I mean,
I
you
ain't-
started something.
I ain't
We
Stephen
got
Cooper.
time? It's going to be a while because we need to see what the judges is doing now when ain't nobody looking at them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know-
yeah, we definitely need to be.
And then you got the black folk in Edmond like, man, what about me? I mean, just because I'm in
But
Edmond, you
that's
gonna
what I'm
leave me
saying.
out?
They need to go over there, sundown town, and check out and check out what's going on in your city too.
Now, you need to ask for a representative. You need to
Jeez.
start here and ask for a representative in each community to join you on this. All you need is one.
Just one.
Just one. Go to your city council meeting, report
Now,
back.
see, they got who? Mike. They got Mike over there in Oklahoma City, huh?
Oh, Mike Washington?
Yeah.
Oh, you know Mike Washington coming with it.
See,
Shout out to Mike Washington.
we need one of them over
One
here.
of them over here.
Go
He
to the
one
school
that's
board
over there.
meeting.
Oh,
Go, go to the school board meeting, report back from the school board meeting. Go to the. It starts here. You
So we
are the
gotta-
change.
We got to do something, man. What you saying? I
the
can't
change.
just talk about it. I got to do something.
Yeah.
We're
Use
coming-
this
Yeah.
platform.
Now, we're coming up on our last 10 minutes of the show. I got to ask this question before you get out of here. How does it feel, or what does it mean to you to be such an impact on Oklahoma's education behind the scenes? What does it mean to you personally?
I don't know if I'm an impact. I mean, I go out and I do what I feel is right. I advocate. I advocate. I advocate because of my daughter, but I'll advocate for anyone who will ask me. I feel like I shouldn't be the only one with the information. If I find out something like I'm doing now, I want to share that information.
All right.
I don't know what impact I'm making. If I'm making an impact, I'm just doing what God has put in my heart to do.
Okay. There you
You
go.
making an impact.
To me, you're
out
making
here-
an impact.
You out here doing it, man. You can speak on it, and you got your. I mean, like we said at the beginning of the show, man. You got some accomplishments, man. You got some titles behind your name.
There you go.
So you
Well,
making an
thank you.
impact over here.
You hear me?
You know, keep doing what you doing, man. I definitely commend you because everybody ain't doing it, ain't trying to step up to do it like you doing it and all that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just taking the time to come visit us.
Yeah, that too. That
most
too.
definitely.
I mean, there you go. You're spreading awareness. Yeah.
People that didn't know, you definitely can know.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, and before we run out of time, how can they contact you if they got any questions or they want to reach you?
I am on the Facebook.
The face the book.
I got that chick from Chub Rock listening.
I'm on the face the book.
Deanna North Gaines on Facebook. My daughter, she has a disability. I was getting ready to say my son. Bean Courtney is her Facebook page. She has Down syndrome. She just did a movie.
Oh yeah, she
There you
going
go.
hard out
She
here,
just
man.
did a movie.
Can
in
you tell
Washington,
me more
DC.
about that? Yeah, can we speak on that real quick?
It is called I Can Do All Things. We shot it in Bel Air, Maryland in April. She is the National Down Syndrome Society Ambassador of the Year. She has a lot of stuff that she's doing, but that will be out in October for Down Syndrome Awareness Month. I am still kind of an artist manager. I need to tell y'all when I hung out with Wu-Tang.
Oh yeah, she got the stories.
You was in there with the RZA and the Jizza?
You know it.
Oh,
She
man.
kicked with a lot of them, man. I be
out there
wanting to
kicking
be there,
it.
man, too.
I need to tell you about eating jerk chicken with Curtis Blow, too.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. You lived a life. Yeah, you
Yeah,
lived a
Curtis
life.
Blow was
Damn.
sitting on the curb, too.
So, yeah.
Sorry for that, Curtis Blow, man. I was not in charge.
Yeah, so we apologize. That was not our intent. We love you, Mr. Blow.
We would have had a limo outside waiting on you, man. If we was in charge, man, you would have been back to your room sitting on the top floor.
So yeah, it has been interesting. I've been some places, I've seen some things, but Oklahoma is this is home.
That's home.
This is home, and this is what I want to see prosper. I do see us growing, and I do see things happening. But as far as education is concerned, nothing can happen without education. I don't want to see us be a society of inmates and people back and forth at the courthouse.
Damn.
So,
And we got to know that it's a business. Well, that's one of my points I wanted to hit on too, was that you got to know that this is a business. That's why I wanted to bring it up. The pipeline to prisons, so they can make money.
There you go.
All those inmates in there, they making grip, not for themselves, but for the people that have built these prisons. Go ahead, man.
How do you feel about when you were on the parole board? Were you on the parole board?
no, I was a senior probation and parole officer for the state. I wasn't on the parole board.
I'm just wondering,
How you make that decision?
How did you, Dad, how did you feel about
Decide
what
people-
was coming to you on your desk?
Yeah.
Were you hopeful, sad with the
I was-
people that you were coming across?
Hopeful. One white girl came in there and she was mad that I was her probation officer. I was black. And she called me the N-word. Can I say that?
Yep.
She called me a nigger.
Wow.
And I'm sitting up here like, I'm the one so. I mean, but even at that, goes back again, they are not afraid of us, generally speaking. They have no fear. They don't have that fear. They don't have any fear of crossing the line. There's no line with them.
Yeah.
We would never, I wouldn't say never, but she said it was just like,
And what?
now what? Without realizing that I'm the woman who's in control of your life here.
Right.
So
Damn. That's heavy.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
That goes to show what they think.
It's just sad all the way around, man. I mean, all this time that went by, we still talking about the same
Same
song.
thing, same cycle, man. That's because we been pushed back. It's like you saying, man, you try to set these groups up and we do it, and then look, they start pulling people over and doing things and beating them, and I mean, there's consequences to messing with the system too, man.
But you are going to have that Facebook group set up by the time we come here. We're down to 1 minute. You're going to have that Facebook group set up.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it out there. I gotta come up with the name, and then it's gonna be out there, man.
Straight like that. We got anything coming up?
Man,
What's going
next
on? What's out
week.
this month?
Next week. I know I ain't put out the flyer yet, my bad,
Oh,
man.
man, it's all good.
But the flyer will be out today, man. I promise.
But it's another art to O.
Another art to O coming, man. And like Deanna say, she still is in artist management, man. She was. Shout out to DeAndre Gaines.
There you go.
That's
There you
fam
go.
too,
Gaines,
man.
yeah.
Dre Gaines, yeah.
There
So
you go.
yeah,
And you
man.
will hear some Oklahoma music in the movie.
Oh yeah, so y'all
wow.
make sure y'all stay tuned.
I made sure I pushed, like, I'm
This
from
is- this-
Oklahoma.
Push
This
that
is
out
one of-
there.
Yeah.
This is some of my vision right here, man. One of my main reasons for doing it too, man, because she's still pushing for Oklahoma just like we pushing for Oklahoma, man. So
Right.
y'all make sure y'all tap in next week. R2O, we got Bobby
And G.
and G coming
That's
through,
our
man.
first double hitter, or
Yeah,
double
man.
whammy.
We about to see how we can interview two people at the same time, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we try to step our weight up just a little bit, man.
It's gonna be an interesting one.
Yeah,
We'll try to figure it out.
so we trying to make ourselves step out of the box, just like creating Facebook, for us to go to these meetings.
There you go.
So we on it, y'all. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned and tapped in, man.
Go like, subscribe.
Yeah, like and
Comment,
subscribe, man. If
all
y'all want to
that.
see the whole show, I know you. What's that? Facebook. Y'all don't get to see us all the time like that no more, man. Y'all gotta go to YouTube if y'all want to see the whole show, man. Y'all can see all of us, man. Y'all
That's
get
part
good
of it.
quality and all that, man.
Gotta
Just make
keep up
sure
with us.
y'all go over there, like and subscribe, man. Share it to your peoples, man.
You hear me?
We trying to bring y'all some of this heat, man.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. We didn't get that interaction from Facebook like we usually do today, man. It was a good one, man.
Yeah, I think everybody kicking. They
I
sleep or
guess they
something.
kick
man.
it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
They didn't want to talk to
They
me.
gonna see you gonna see the views be up there the same views.
Trust me, later on they're gonna have every question in the book. Damn, I missed it.
Hey, if y'all got a question, man, make sure y'all shoot that to the Ducker email, man.
There you go. What is that Ducker email?
That's duckerduckerpodcast@gmail.com, man.
Roger.
Make sure y'all send us that, man. Leave your comments on this video too, man. Anywhere y'all see it, and we'll make sure that we get that talked about. You know what I'm saying? We'll answer it in some way.
There you go.
But on that note, man, it's been a good one again, man. I promise y'all, man. We setting records out here with ourselves.
Come on.
So
All right.
we about to sign on out on this one, man. It's your boy Dirty.
I'm Trey.
I'm Deanna.
And we is out.
For the football.
Boom.
That was fun.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you all.
There you go. Appreciate y'all, man. Every Sunday, 6. You know we do.
Oh, is
Go
it
to
still doing
YouTube,
something
man,
over here?
and make sure y'all do y'all thing over there. Y'all know